Hello and welcome. This is a little video introduction on how I perceive and work with boundaries. And boundaries is something that comes back in all of my work, because when it comes to meeting ourselves and our partner in an intimate place, knowing what we want and feeling safe to communicate in between us, we can't work enough with boundaries. And I find that there's a tendency in the world when talking about consent that there are like two kinds of people. Those who knows how to read other people's signals and respect their communication, and those who don't. And there are good people and then there are bad people. But from my perspective, all of us have difficulties with boundaries. No one is perfect. And there are times that we have our boundaries crossed, and there are times when we will cross other people's boundaries. With that said, it's not okay to cross someone else's boundary, but we also need to understand that this is a work that we can do with ourselves as well, and not only focusing on other people. So for me, when this work became really deep was actually when I realized that I can be quite pushy, that I can be insisting on what I want or to have it my way. And not only that I was pushy, but that I actually had people agreeing to things they didn't want to do without realizing that what I was doing. So this journey has been quite deep for me, because when we see those things, of course, there's a lot of shame and there's a lot of guilt. But it's something that we need to go through, because we also feel a lot of shame and guilt easily when we ask for what we actually want and the things that we deserve to have. So what perfect consent would be, that it would be if we are together and at every millisecond, I feel what you are feeling or you feel what I'm feeling. And in every millisecond, we are adjusting. So whatever you are feeling, I'm noticing it. What I'm feeling, you are noticing it. That would be some kind of perfect dance of consent. And as you hear me describe it, I'm sure you also agree that that is really hard. Because sometimes we don't know even what we feel. And so much less what someone else is feeling. Or some people, they're very in tune with what someone else feels. They're so good at following them that they lose themselves. So that brings also us into this topic that who we are in relationship to our boundaries are most often related to our childhood. It's related to our relationship to our parents and also our parents' own relationship to boundaries. So if we had a parent who couldn't really take care of themselves or were sick or depressed, as a child, we want to see our parent happy. So instead of putting ourselves first, we're putting our parent first and want to adjust to them so that we can get love, because we need love at any cost when we are small. And this, when we become adults, means that we might become a people pleaser, because we learned really easy, I get love if I don't think about what I need, but I think of what other people need. Another reaction to that same result or to that same situation might be, I'm not going to take care of my parent, I'm the child here, and we become rebellious and I can take care of myself, I don't need anything. And we don't want to take care of anyone else, and as soon as someone comes with their need, it's oh, I don't want this neediness, These are just a couple of examples of how our relationship to boundaries can affect us in an adulthood. And I normally say to my students in high school when I teach sex education, that if you are that person who always let everybody else decide, they decide what to eat, what to do, which movie to watch every time, because you don't want to oppose anything, or you want to be liked by them, the probability when you become intimate is that you will go into that same role. You might accept things being done to you, or you're putting up with things that you actually don't want. And the same for that person who always is the one who decides. if you're used to getting it your way and you're used to saying it in a way that people think it sounds like a good idea, you might be that person in bed that one day your partner will say, I actually didn't even want to do that. And there's no more heartbreaking thing to realize that you have crossed someone's boundaries when it's intimate. But we do it all the time. It's just that when it's intimacy, it's just so much worse, or the damage can be so much bigger when it comes to physical contact. So this is also bringing us into the nervous system and how this is layered in our nervous system since a really, really long time. Because when we are in what is called the social engagement system, when we are present, we are being able to connect to others, we are feeling emotions. Then if something comes our way and we don't want it, we just feel like, no, I don't want it. And then we say it. You could call it like a healthy protest, like, no, I don't want that. Or you suggest something else. So when we're in that place, it's easy to feel what I want, and it's easy to communicate. And also when someone else doesn't want, you easily kind of like, okay, you don't want that. You don't kind of insist, But if we have had our boundaries crossed in the past, our body doesn't really know the difference between the past and the now. So if my boundary is crossed just as tiny bit right now, somebody puts my hand in a way that I don't like, or I feel a little bit of discomfort, I might react in a really discomfortable way because my body remembers that what happened in the past. So for me to work with boundaries is to really get to know ourselves. What is it that I want and do not want in the here and the now, where I feel comfortable and I feel safe? And what is it that comes up even though I'm actually safe? Maybe I'm with my partner and I want to be intimate, but my body goes, no. Because something that happened in the past. Or it could be on the other side, that I really want something. And what's the difference between wanting something and suggesting it, your partner don't want, and then accept that, or when your partner don't want it and you feel hurt, you don't feel loved, like, are you not attracted to me, or you don't want me anymore? Again, this is not related to the situation. This is something old. This is me not receiving the love that I needed in the past, or probably in childhood. So the first exercise that I give you, if you want to, is that you take a little bit of time. Maybe you sit down after listening to this talk, and you just sit down. Maybe you've done this before and this is not new information, but if this is new information and you would like to do this reflection, you take a moment and you just sit and reflect upon yourself. How was I as a child in relationship to how I am now? When I get triggered because I don't get what I want, or because someone else wants that from me, can that be related to maybe my parents needed things from me as a child, or I didn't get the love that I needed as a child? And can I, through my also relationships, see a bit of this pattern? What is the role that I easily step into automatically? In every relationship, sometimes we tend up acting in the same way, or we attract a similar person because we are a pleaser and we like to make people happy because it makes us feel good. Then we might attract someone who really likes to be taken care of. And then that feels really, really nice in the beginning, but then after a while, it becomes in an imbalance. So just take a moment and reflect about these things and see what it is that you would like to work on. What are the things that you would like to change in your pattern in the future in your relationships? So that was a little introduction for today, and I looking forward to hear any comment or hearing back from you or seeing you next time.